Yeah. So, very good afternoon to one and all present in this webinar. I, Divya Shri, on behalf of Team Technostruct, would like to express my sincere gratitude towards our academic partners, JC Bose University of Science and Technology, the North Cap University, and Chitkara University for arranging this platform and supporting our mission to bring innovation in civil engineering practices. Uh, before we start, am I audible? Can anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Thank you so much. So I would also like to welcome participating institutions and participants all across the country today who have joined us. So before I start, I would like to introduce our esteemed guest, Mr. Roy Aniruddha, Managing Director, Technostruct America. Mr. Roy is a pioneer in the field of AEC industry, architecture, engineering, and construction, with more than 20 years of experience in sales, leadership, and business development. I also would like to introduce our North India head of TSA, Technostruct Academy, Mr. Arun Kochar. His vision to take BIM to every civil engineer to empower them for upcoming technologies is phenomenal. So I welcome both Mr. Roy and Mr. Arun Kochar. Today we also have the expert speaker of today's session, Ms. Mobiti Goswami, Technical Marketing Manager of Technostruct. She's working in this industry from the past decade, and she's working with the organization Technostruct from 3 years, from the past 3 years. Yeah. So now I would like to invite Mr. Roy, who has spared his valuable time to give this masterclass on BIM technologies. Sir. Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi Divya, I can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I think what we need to do before we start is if you have logged in as admin, please admit everyone to join because there are a lot of people in queue
Right,
and
right.
they need to be joining. Okay, so make sure that's done.
Okay, right. I'm doing it.
Okay, so once let's do that first.
I've made you co-host, so you'll be able to share the screen.
Yeah, perfect.
Right. Over to
Um,
you.
okay. Just one sec. Let me. There's a constant noise in the background from someone who is unmuted. So let me try to fix that once.
Yeah, everybody is muted now.
Hello. Yeah. So I assume everybody can see my screen. Divya, you're the
Yes,
only one
yes, we can
unmuted.
see
So
your
please.
screen. Yeah, we
Perfect.
can see your screen. Yeah.
Okay. So without a lot of introductions and everything, because introductions are great, but what matters is uh, what is BIM and where has it come? I mean, all there's a lot of if you just open Google and you'll see you type BIM, there'll be more information than you require. Just one second, guys. So this is one of the things that BIM is doing these days. So this is a what should I call it? A multi-speciality, one of its kind hospital in Singapore, designed by a company called HKS, who is the world leaders in healthcare design. And if you see this room that we are entering right now is exactly how our doctor will see. So, and this is where it's going to be. I mean, the view outside, the view inside. So what we are doing is this is a virtual reality model. This is not some computer graphics or anything. This is a virtual reality model. So with exact dimensions, with exact controls, and so that when the doctors who are responsible for this kind of a four patient indoor unit, they can look around, wear their goggles and look around and see how each bed is going to be like, where are the switches, what are the things that are required, and when patients come in from ambulatory care, how they enter, etc., etc. So this is one of the things that BIM is doing these days. It's not just doing, models and 3D and all of that. It's actually real life, practical, uh, and yep. So with this, I will start the presentation and hand over to uh, Mobiti, and she will take you through.
Thank you, Roy. That was a wonderful session. I would say really nice to see what you were telling us. Thank you so much. So yes, like today's session is on BIM technology in Indian construction industry. I hope I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are. Yeah, Mobiti.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so, BIM was not such a popular concept even couple of years back. Roy, like, can you please run through the PPT? Like, I can just move with the flow. Okay, BIM was not such a popular concept even a couple of years back, but today, it is such a it is such a sought after skill in the Indian construction industry, and it's showing a huge appetite for building small to large scale industries. Okay, the Indian construction sector presently is undertaking new BIM initiatives, okay, for both private and the government sector. Now, aim is to improve efficiency, build a robust infrastructure, and optimize resource utilization. That is very, very important. So recent budgetary allocations and Niti Aayog announcements for leveraging the capabilities of BIM in the national infrastructure and construction projects have come out loud and clear to the industry watchers. So it is no longer considered merely as a good to have differentiator. Okay, BIM is positioning itself as a basic qualifier. It is a necessity. So now the question is, are we on BIM? So moving ahead, like we have, a lot of companies who are looking for BIM talents. Like we have all the big wigs like Autodesk, Mott MacDonald, and say CDM Smith, eLogic. Not only that, in India also there are a lot of companies who are actively looking for BIM talent. We have companies like AECOM, we have companies like Atkins, Tata Projects, L&T, and even Neilsoft, Texture. So there are a huge a pool of companies who are always, looking for qualified BIM professionals to work in their projects. Now, when, there is so much of importance of BIM in the industry, okay, when there is so much of hiring going on, there are, different kind of roles that are in demand presently, okay, from designers to project managers, coordinators to special skill managers, whether HVAC, civil, mechanical, plumbing, electrical, the construction industry is actively hiring candidates. Okay, so opportunities are huge, and it is a different stage of career and in a wide range of roles. So each of these roles, they are coming with a different set of responsibility, and it's allowing a well-defined career progression roadmap. So the next obvious question might be like, what is the compensation? Okay, so we know about the importance of BEM in the market, what government is doing right now, all the budgetary support, all the hirings going on. So next possible concern might be the compensation package. So as an icing on the cake, compared to peer positions in other related fields, the compensation structure too has emerged as highly lucrative and highly competitive. Various roles of BIM professionals draw as a remuneration between INR 3 to 19 lakh per annum based on the experience and expertise. Okay, so that was what we are seeing in the Indian construction industry at the moment. Now coming to TechnoStruct Group, okay, TechnoStruct Academy is basically a part of TechnoStruct Group. Okay, and TechnoStruct Group, it started with TechnoStruct Engineering. Okay, TechnoStruct Engineering started 15 years ago, slightly more than that, as an electrical engineering firm only, and it was working in the California, upwards Bay Area, which is in the San Francisco Bay Area precisely. Then a couple of years later, we also added mechanical to our service segment. So we started with electrical, then we added mechanical, and now we are a full service MEP engineering firm, MEP engineering company. And we now also have added photovoltaic, that is solar. Okay, we also have seismic engineering, not only for civil, but more importantly, electrical, mechanical, that is, the MEP trades. So yeah, this is all about TechnoStruct Engineering. And, we were getting a lot of demand from our clients, like say general contractors and owners, to help them out with the other aspects of the project in terms of BIM, like coordinating the BIM, or say doing architectural BIM, or doing BIM for their subcontractors or trade contractors. So we added our own BIM division, okay, TechnoStruct LLC. So previously, okay, at TechnoStruct Engineering, what we were doing BIM for our own projects. Okay, when we do BIM for our own projects, we are definitely seeing, a lot of advantages. Like first one, obviously higher profitability. Then we are also having, accuracy of information, faster documentation, easier coordination. So we were doing BIM for our own projects. So TechnoStruct LLC, basically it is an LBE, that is local business enterprise for the city of San Francisco. And we have 3 offices in California. We have one office in Texas, one in Mexico, one in the state of Washington, and 2 in India. So when we started with India and Mexico specifically, we were facing huge talent crisis. Okay, so we were actually having a hard time hiring the right kind of talent. Like some of you present here, might know, like a lot of draftsmen, okay, they have learned Revit, but the problem is like what we need as a pure engineering company or a construction management firm, like we need engineers and architects who have BIM capabilities, who understand BIM. Okay, and that's what the industry also demands. Okay, so people who not only understand how to model a conduit per se, but also understands how a conduit routing happens, or say why it happens. Okay, more importantly, why it happens. So what we did, like we were basically hiring and spending a lot of time, money, and effort on training and hoping that some of them will work out. Now, say about 3.5 years back, we decided to open our own academy in a small way and not as say purely business venture, where we could get people join, pay for their learning, and then we can hire the top talents who were passing out. So our friends in the industry, like in the construction industry, like AECOM, Atkins, Tata Projects, okay, who are also having the operations in India, okay, they liked how we were hiring from our own institute. And they also wanted to hire from us. Okay, so that's how our placement wing started, just by accident. So now we have TechnoStruct Academy, which functions across Mexico, US, and India. Okay, now TechnoStruct team. Okay, we have Roy Aniruddha with us. Roy is the board director. Now, Roy specifically told me not to say much about him, but yes, Roy has more than 20 years of experience into the industry. He was a part of Satelier, the first architectural outsourcing firm. He also chaired India BIM Forum and is also a part of a lot of construction industry bodies in US. Parth Makwana. Okay, Parth has done his MS in construction management from Purdue University. He is a part of High Rise Council of US San Francisco chapter. He worked with prestigious firms like Whitening Turner Construction Company. And yeah, he is the director for technical marketing in TechnoStruct. Steve Burns. Steve is the director for strategy and acquisition. Steve carries overall 40 years of experience managing design build companies, both in US and internationally prior to joining TechnoStruct. Stephen Burns was the EVP for AECOM Texas. Jim Vernadore. Jim brings, almost say 40 years of drafting, 3D modeling, BIM VDC experience to the table. As times and technology changed, Jim was the first person in his company to begin using AutoCAD back before Windows was created. So that was a long time back. Okay, he is now leading the BIM efforts for TechnoStruct. His specialties are virtual design construction, building information modeling, collision detection and resolution, determination of existing and as-built conditions. Robert Pittman. Robert has, been around, Robert has around more than 20 years of experience in electrical engineering. He is the principal electrical engineer, and he is licensed in 6 states of US, including the state of Hawaii. Tom Godfrey. Tom is the mechanical principal for the company by profession, a mechanical engineer, more than 25 years of experience, working in a wide range of core engineering projects. Even Tom holds a license of 5 states in US. Kriti, with a degree of computer science from Purdue. Kriti heads the accounting and HR initiatives of TechnoStruct Group. Now, yes, these are some of the noteworthy projects of TechnoStruct. Like, we have worked in some of the biggest, largest, and tallest projects. We have been a part of Google Bayview Center. We have worked in LA Stadium, Hollywood Park. We have also been associated with Microsoft Silicon Valley campus. We have also been a part of San Francisco Airport Extension Project. We have worked with Apple headquarters in Cupertino, California, the Mark Sarosta in Florida. We have been a part of Ford Research and Innovation Center, 500 La Ola in Miami, Florida. There are a wide range of other projects that, we are involved with, a lot of hospitals, lot of healthcare, lot of transit centers that we do. Now, coming to the, course selection panel, okay, TechnoStruct has a very eminent course selection panel, okay, and this panel, it has personalities from Purdue University, Virginia Tech, University of Buffalo, Qatar State Bureau. Samuel Labby is actually heading our course selection panel now. Sam holds a PhD in construction management from Purdue University, and he's also heading the Department of Construction Management over there. Hubo Kai. Hubo actually holds a PhD in civil and construction engineering from North Carolina State University. He is a professor for civil and construction engineering in Purdue. Mark Hastek has a PhD in civil from Purdue. He has more than 200 publications. Now, Mark is basically a professor and Derland Family Head of Construction Engineering and Management, as well as a professor for civil engineering at Purdue. He has been involved with the construction industry for the last 33 years, where he has conducted research, taught, and assisted industry in construction, engineering, and management. We have Michael Garvin with us. best in the construction in the course selection panel. Okay, Michael Garvin, basically he's a PhD in civil from MIT. He's a professor for construction engineering and management in Virginia Tech. S. Mukherjee, Shayanti Mukherjee. Shayanti is a PhD in civil from Purdue, and he's a professor in the University of Buffalo in New York. Amir Kandil. Amir is again a PhD in civil and construction engineering from University of Illinois. He is a professional engineer with 16 years of experience in construction project and program management. He is the technical expert for the Qatar State Audit Bureau. So this is the course selection panel of Technostruct Academy. So I hope this gives us a lot of insight on what our courses can be, the kind of modules that we are having. Okay, with us, Roy. It would be great if you could move ahead with BIM. I guess it's time we should talk about BIM.
Perfect, Moviti. Thank you so much. Now,
thank you, Roy.
Yeah, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what is BIM? So there's a lot of, to understand what BIM is, we need to go back a little and understand where it all started. Okay. And just one sec. So life before AutoCAD. What was life like before AutoCAD? So in life before AutoCAD, we were doing hand drafting. And I'm sure a lot of your professors here, and if there are certain professionals here would have seen a lot of work in hand drafting. And before hand drafting, there was linen drafting. And what did we do there? Basically, we were doing shapes and lines to denote materials, nothing else. And what happened after that? We took the same drawings, yet computers. So when we were young, guys like me, we were writing on pen and paper. Now, guys like you, when you're growing up, you're writing in computer. So that's the difference. And in AutoCAD or CAD, for example, computer aided design and documentation, when it came into being, we all moved from paper to a computer. But the technology never changed. It was the medium of delivery of drawings that changed. The technology, the engineering, the science, the architecture, that never changed. So what happened really? What happened is, after a few years, something called BIM came. What is BIM? Let's understand. So let's take an example. Some of us would remember, all of us should have seen our, those rotary phones or those landline phones, and we used to have a telephone directory here, okay, with names and phone numbers, and we used to keep a small notebook with people's names and phone numbers. Then came the mobile phones, where we could store names and phone numbers. A few of us still use these phones because they lost, battery doesn't go out in a few hours. But then came smartphones. So what changed? What changed is, now it moved from small set of information to identification, which means when you have previously what you could do is write Candy Melinda and the number. Now you have everything associated with your relationship with Candy, how you know their profile, everything is there. So what does that mean for construction? What it means is exactly what you're seeing here. Before you can construct, you can see everything that's going in. For example, if there's a column, if there's a wall, it is not going to be a 3D representation of the wall. You're going to actually construct a wall in a computerized simulated environment, where you're going to talk about the concrete that's going to be used, the grade of concrete that's going to be used, the fire rating, the internal plaster, the external plaster, everything is going to be there. So all the information, the attributes related to that element will be captured, and it can be seen in 3D. All the software for BIM, that's Revit, ArchiCAD, Bentley, these are not 3D software. These are database software, which can be seen in either 2D or 3D. So that is what BIM is. BIM stands for Building Information Modeling, where we are talking about the information that's there in the model. And now we are all talking about cloud collaboration, where we've taken it from our computers, put it on the internet, and where we are all talking together like we are doing now. Previously, we had to hire a auditorium. Everybody had to come here. Now we've got students from across India joining us on the cloud. So the models, the information about projects are on the cloud. Now it's very important whether you are going to be a professional armed with BIM or a professional not armed with BIM. You have to understand how cloud collaboration works, because if nothing else, COVID has introduced technology into organization, into construction. Now there is no getting back to how it was. It will never be back to where it was. Is people will want to collaborate real time with everyone involved in a project. You can shy away from it. You can say, I am going to be a designer. Fair enough. But you as an, for example, if you are an electrical engineer who is into core design, you are not going to be living in a bubble. You're going to have to coordinate, work with the architects, work with the civil engineer, the structural engineer, the mechanical, the plumbing, and every other stakeholder in that project. And they're going to be all collaborating on the cloud. So you cannot live in a bubble and say, I'm going to work in an office somewhere and, heads down. Doesn't work. The industry, the world has moved on. And we are going to move on. So building information modeling. Now, there are a lot of levels of BIM. Level 0 is nothing. It's just AutoCAD, not even CAD, really. I mean, it's AutoCAD where we have just monodimensions. And then we move into level 1. What is level 1? Level 1 is 2D. And when you have, non-interactive 3D, which means, computer graphics, SketchUp and Maya and all of that, where it stores no information. It's just look and feel. That's about it. Then we move on to level 2, which is the most used level in the world, where we have separate architectural, structural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, or whichever modeling models. Everybody creates those models separately, and then we put them into, and then we combine those models like you see here. And after combining them, we run clash detection in, say, Navisworks or BIM 360 Collaborate, where if you can see here, you will see clashing, by clashing with Beam, etc., etc. And then we sort this out, and then we go into more high-end thing like a 4D simulation, like here, where we have added the construction plan to a fully informative BIM model, and it's going to show. Now, if I pause it somewhere, let's see if I can pause it. You see, on 21st of March 2019, we should have used this much material, this much equipment. So we all know how it should be looking. So it should be looking like this while we are actually looking like this, which means we are ahead of schedule. What happens when we are ahead of schedule? Some of us who live in large metropolitan cities like Mumbai, Delhi, we know that there is no warehousing capabilities or capacity in at construction sites. So if we are moving ahead of schedule, which means we will, one, run out of materials very soon, so we need to order fast. Or if we are ahead of schedule, which would mean that we might have, if we are behind schedule, then we might have a warehousing issue where we will have surplus construction material and nowhere to keep them. So these are 4D construction sequencing which help us understand what is and the ground reality versus what it should be. So, nice pictures, right? And then we have 5D, or what we call cost data, where we have, remember where we started? We talked about creating all those individual construction elements, and those elements would have information. Now, this is how these information show up. We have quantities which get calculated automatically from the model, and based on those quantities, we can drive our cost planning. The biggest challenge in construction industry in India is cost overrun, time overrun. We are never able to calculate cost or time. And that's why we use this. Now, what is 5D or 6D sustainability? And we have cloud collaboration. So this is level 3 BIM. So in a nutshell, this is how a BIM collaboration lifecycle would mean, from planning, design, construction, operations, and management. All the stakeholders will be involved. But what does that mean for you? You can say, hey, Roy, we understand there's BIM. There's a lot of people who talk about BIM. We've attended so many webinars and seminars and whatever, talk shows. What does it mean for us, students in colleges whose aim is right now to get a good job in this difficult market scenarios, build a career? What does this mean for us? See, BIM, as Mobity has been talking about before, throughout the years, and I have been in this industry and off and on in India for a long time, for over 20 years. For the last 10 years, there have been a lot of projects in BIM. But what it lacked was a government push. Now, you can call it vision of the government. You can call it just natural progression that is unavoidable. I don't know. But what's happened is that the central government, about 3-4 years back, wanted to expedite projects, which means get projects done fast. And how do they do it? They got the idea that BIM might help. So what happens? The Planning Commission, or Niti Aayog as we now know it, they did a research and they found out that approximately 20% project cost can be saved, and it can also reduce the construction time, which is phenomenal. Okay, if we can finish projects faster. Okay, like for example, there's a bridge. It's a huge, I think, 7-kilometer bridge in Gurgaon, which is going to be completed in a year. Okay, unheard of. Anyway, coming back. So what was the outcome? The central government is not only planning to use technology, which is BIM, for development of infrastructure projects, such as national highways, metros, and other greenfield projects, but also make it part of the Housing for All initiative by 2022. What does that mean? That means a lot more employment, a lot more job creation, but a lot more job creation for students or professionals who are into technology. When I say technology, I do not mean software. Let's not confuse technology with software. Softwares come and go. Yesterday was we used to use a different software. Softwares are like mobile phones. You change it every year, or there's a new phone every year, but the technology is the same or similar. So here also, the students who will prosper are going to be the ones who will be able to use technology. moving on, let's move things a little faster. So BIM in metro projects in India. The first one was actually not Nagpur Metro. The first one was Janpath Station in New Delhi, part of the heritage line of New Delhi Metro. And back in 2014, I was part of that initiative, and we had done a small case study and showed them what the problems were. Believe me, guys, there were 7,000 errors just in one small segment of the project. So moving on, so Nagpur Metro, what happened is Mr. Ramnath Subramaniam, ED of ED Strategic Planning of Maharashtra Metro, said we should use 5D BIM, okay, to significantly reduce cost. Then Mr. Bridget Dixit from MD of Maharashtra Metro used it in Nagpur Metro and did a phenomenal job in doing that. It drove efficiency. People from Nagpur, you can go to the Metro monument and see what's happened. Two of my juniors, Manoj and Kuldeep, they are part of that. They were always part of that. I was part of that initiative at the early on stage as part of the AECOM team in my previous job, and with a different firm. And now it's opened up. All metros from Mumbai Metro to Pune Metro to Chennai Metro to Kolkata Metro, the East-West corridor, everybody has to use BIM. It's not everybody is looking to use BIM. It's a mandate. So all engineers, all architects need to understand BIM, need to understand how to collaborate on BIM. Okay. So for example, Rudra Abhishek REPL has emerged as the lowest bidder for BIM consultancy contract in phase 2 of Chennai Metro. Yeah. Chennai, Delhi. So that's where the world is going. It's become very, very small. So for airport construction, there was a saying by one of a big BIM company in India, saying for airport construction, find yourself a BIM expert and not just a Harvard graduate. Now, it's controversial, but what we're saying is I'd like a Harvard graduate who knows BIM, okay? But if wishes were horses. So the airport authority has mandated BIM on all projects. The first one to leverage BIM was the Guwahati International Terminal. Mixed success, and after that, Bengaluru Airport, Indira Gandhi International T3, everything's on BIM. So if you want to make your career in infrastructure, BIM. If you want to make your in metros, BIM. For highways, BIM. For airports, BIM. So you understand, I'm not asking you to become a BIM expert. I'm asking you to also understand the technology, go with the times. Okay. And it's not just infrastructure. Look at the amount of BIM that's getting used in residential. You go to any big tier 1 or tier 2 city, all the developers, DLF, or any of these developers that you know of, everyone mandates BIM on most of their projects. So you want to work with any of these guys, you need to know BIM. Okay. A few of your alumni might get away with it, but by the time you start building your careers, you need to understand what BIM is and what BIM is not. So with this, what I'll do is unfortunately, we cannot take questions and all of that. So I'm going to hand over this session to my colleague, Divyashree, and she'll take over from there. Divyashree.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you so much. Yeah. So let me share my screen. So my screen is visible?
Yes, it is visible, Divya.
Okay. Yeah. So today I am going to talk about basically, Roy has given us the insight about BIM, Building Information Modeling, and quite much in detail, its importance, relevance, and how it is shaping the future of civil engineers. So I'm basically going to talk about BIM and how we are going and we are taking up all the projects. So first of all, as mentioned by Roy only, what is BIM? So I have listed few pointers to explain you like what is BIM. So BIM is, I request you not to scribble on the screen, everyone. That is a request. Please do not scribble on the screen. Yeah. So BIM is basically, you can say it's a single digital model of building with set of technologies which is involved, some processes and some policies when we are working in the project. Then it can also be known as a process which AEC professionals are using with some insights and tools. It is also, BIM is used to more efficiently plan, design, construct, and manage the infrastructure. Also, uh, it is a digital representation of physical and functional characteristics of a facility or any project you're working on. Also, it enables multiple stakeholders to collaboratively design, construct, and operate a facility in virtual space. So the name itself says everything. Building information modeling, a building comprising of all the trades, comprising of structures. When a structural engineer is designing, it comprises the mechanical aspects of it. It comprises the electrical aspects, so plumbing aspects, then the firefighting. So all this combined together will give you every single information about the model. This pictorial representation is giving you every detail what BIM is used for. So it can be used for any project, as in it can be a hospital, it can be an office, resort, retail, residential. Then the detailed design of the whole project is prepared along with the design, structural design. Then architect is going to be involved in it. The analysis will happen. Okay, that is going to involve the solar, human analysis. Then when you are going to combine all the different trades, you're going to do clash detection. Along with it, you can have quantity takeoff, which is very, very important when you're constructing your building. So that will basically give you every insight of the quantities which will be involved in the project, along with the 4D simulation. Procurement is of course going to happen before your construction process will start. Then the virtual reality and augmented reality can happen through the Navisworks that I will show you in some time. So this is what BIM is. Importance, as listed by Roy already, there are many pointers which I got from him only. So yeah, as he told that it improves team collaboration and workflow efficiency. So when all the team members, different stakeholders are sitting and talking about the project, and when they are collaborating it, so every single clash which is happening, that can be removed, and you can have a good model or a good structure. When you're constructing it, there will not be any problem. You're not going to think about the structure while constructing, that oh, my beam is now colliding with some different duct, or it is colliding with an electrical fixture. So that you need not think. So it is also a stable platform for computer simulations and 3D models. You can, of course, get skilled with different softwares. It's just not about modeling, it's about understanding the technology. So bridging the gap between academics and becoming job ready is, of course, another important aspect of BIM. The greater demand it is, as shown by Roy, that various projects are now including BIM. So they are going to do it mandatory. So like, demand is going to be more and supply of skilled professional is low. So we can bridge that gap by learning this building information modeling technology. Also, it engage all the stakeholders with project prior to construction. That I will show you in my next slide. So yes, what it is. Basically, when we talked about the last point, engage all stakeholders. What is it? What are the stakeholders? When you're working in a project, there are going to be structural engineer, which is going to be involved. There will be a MEP person, MEP drawings you will get, which will have the mechanical aspect in the drawing, electrical and plumbing aspect. Then there will be architects will be involved from different companies, mechanical trade people will be involved, electrical people will be involved. So these different trade or stakeholders will be together working to build a project, right? This is what your information about the technology of different stakeholders. So I will tell you the coordination process in a very smaller way, or you're going to get the gist of what it is. So it is basically divided into two phases. One is upstream and the other is downstream. So upstream is the part where you've not started the construction. You know that, before you start everything, you have to do this upstream process. So where how it is going to be done, when a structural engineer is going to design the building, will analyze the building and is going to collect all the data required. So that means a structural drawing. Then an architect is going to work on the building, okay, and will give you all the different or every small detail which is required to build the structure. That will have your architecture drawing, then a MEP model. So combine them, get all the required model. You can see here that you're going to get all the required models, or you can say you will get the drawings. From there you're going to work on the softwares, you will build the models, and from there on what you're going to do is you're going to run clash detection, resolve the issues which are, just don't think that this, when a person is working like a mechanical engineer is working, he's going to work like 100%. So there is no chance that the clashes will happen. There are like number of clashes which occur when you are doing the clash detection. So when you do it, you resolve that. So when you resolve this process, like you can see, it's a loop which is occurring. So resolving the issue, and again you resolve it, next time there can be another issue which can occur. So until or unless there will be no cache, which will though no clash will be there, then you can have your model sign off. Model sign off is basically the whole, every single information is there without any clashes, and your model is ready to go forward to have the construction process which can start. So there on we go to the phase 2, which is downstream, coordination downstream. Then what happens, your model is released for fabrication, then it goes to the field and your construction starts. Since there are no clashes in the model, and which you're giving it to the project person who will start, or the construction manager who will start the process, there will be a smoothing in the process of construction, since there will not be any clash or there will not be any wastage of time. So this is your coordination process which goes in. The tools which are involved in it are the authoring tools, which is Revit 2019. So it all starts with AutoCAD, and then you move to Revit 2019. Then the coordination tool is basically Navisworks, which I will be showing you in some time. Then there is BIM track, which is there. So these are basically coordination tools. Where are you going to, I have just listed here, like, you can see a pointer, raise RFI issue. So RFI is basically a request for information. So whenever you're doing the clash detection process, you're going to raise some information, and that will be covered in BIM 360 glue. So these are some of the tools which I've given here. The meeting tools will be when you're working, there are different stakeholders involved. Cloud collaboration is happening as told by Roy. So you are basically going to need these meeting tools if you're working on different projects, like a US project. So our managers, when they're working in the US project, so they are meeting through these tools, which are Teams and Zoom, and taking over, like, if there is any problem occurring, so they're going to take over that. So these are document control tools, which is BIM 360. When you will be learning this, you're going to learn each and every point which is given here, all the tools. So yes, coming on to why Technostruct Academy, like why us? We are, as told by Roy, that we are a company, Technostruct, and Technostruct has got the projects which are US based projects. You will be learning the US standards when you will be working on the projects. And since the lack of available resources in India, and of course lack of understanding as well in the codes and standards, so you are going to require good internship. So what will happen here in Technostruct Academy, you're going to work on the live projects where we are right now working. So those live projects will give you an insight how you are going to start right from starting the project to signing off the model. Then when we are talking about TSTDP, it is Technostruct Talent Development Program. So before I give you the Technostruct Talent Development Program insight, I would like you to just see, yeah, this is basically if you're working on any project, I'll show you. Can you see my screen, the drawings?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, yeah, this is the drawing for, this is a project on which we are working. So this project is having, you can see here, there are different drawings which are involved. So this is going to be your structural and architecture drawing, which is there. And you will have a set of drawings where every, you can see here, can you see here? Exit access plan level 1. So this is your level 1 drawing, which is given here. And all the proper information, like, you know, you can see plumbing facilities level 1, all the plumbing facilities is given here, like toilet, room, fixture, mattress. So all single information, every single information would be given to you through these drawings, which will be of course going to the software Revit by every stakeholder who is involved. So structural person is going to give this drawing, every aspect of your reinforcement, your size of column, size of beam will be given by your structural engineer. Then the mechanical, electrical, plumbing aspect will be given by like all the ducts, where the duct is going, and you know how the electric fixture is working, where it is, at which level. So every small detail would be given in these drawings to you. This particular project is basically level 1, like, you know, 1 story project. So not much levels are involved in this. So this is what it is. And when we are getting the more like different stakeholders are involved, how you're going to see those stakeholders would be through different models which will be there, like architecture model is there, then there will be a structural model. So steel which is there in the structure, that will be given in this particular. So all the drawings, if I click here, you can go inside and you will see each and every model, okay, of that particular, like curtain wall, you want to see the curtain walls, where are the curtain walls placed, so that will be given through, or you will get through this particular drawing. You go ahead, you can have GFRC, drywall. So all the different trades which are involved in the construction, involved in the project will be given through different naming. So naming convention is different for every project, you can see. But the main things like, you know, HVAC, piping, fire protection, plumbing, they all remain the same and they come in different drawings. We go ahead and yeah. Okay, I will go ahead with this right now. Okay, yeah. So I was talking about Technostruct Talent Development Program. So TSTDP is basically TSTDP is the program which we are telling our students when we are also collaborating with different our academic partners. We're telling them why this is important. So it is because if we want to learn the technology, so this is where, like, you know, the technology plays an important role when you're working actually on the live project. So training on latest BIM technology and global industry best practices you will get through TSTDP program, our program. And we are also having trainers with industry experience. So I will tell you all about our trainers also. So they are working on international projects. So also the classes conducted by these personnel are right now from the past like 1 year, we are going online with the classes. And the training is focused on the global design processes and construction technologies. Our students, they are learning the trades, different trades, which I told you right now, and interdisciplinary coordination, which is the biggest challenge in today's construction space. And yeah, they are learning very well with the mentors who we have. This is our company management. Those who missed it in the starting, this is Mr. Orindam Roy, and he is head, our managing director. Mr. Parth Makwana, he's technical marketing lead. Then Mr. Arun Kochar is our head North India, and Kriti Kochar is the director. Miss Kriti Kochar is the director of our organization. These are our mentors and trainers. So Rohit Harish is basically our project manager, and he's also training students on the live projects. Kiran S. Mohan is there, who's our senior women engineer, and various, like all of them, Mr. Pragatish Kumar, Mr. Suvigya Singh, Mr. Vamsidhar Travakula, and Mr. Rajat Badyal, all of them are working for training the students on the live projects, giving them the right internship. This is our course selection panel, as explained earlier by Ms. Mobiti. So Samuel Labi is working in Purdue University. He's a great researcher. So he has basically vetted our courses, and Mr. Michael, Mr. Mark. So all of them are our in course selection panel. Yeah. So the aim of TSTDP is basically to help or you get you job ready and to bridge the gap between what is required right now. The demand is more and the supply is less. So this is the gist of TSTDP Technostruct Talent Development Program. The courses that we have are basically for, like, if you're working, like, online, you're joining the sessions, that will be 2 hours per day. Right now it is 1.5 hours per day. So, and the duration would be 2.5 to 3 months. You will complete the whole set of projects. Along with the internship, you're going to complete the course, and you're going to get the experience on live international projects that we already have, I told you. So these are some of the courses that we have: BIM Ready Plus, Complete, Architecture, Structure, and MEP. So the difference between Plus and Complete, I will tell you. So BIM Ready Plus is basically for the professionals, architect, engineering, and construction professionals who have some experience, like 2 years of experience. So that is the international postgraduate certification program that we have in BIM management, wherein we start telling the professionals right from the BEP, like, that is a terminology, which is BIM execution plan, which is being told to the AEC professionals. So it is a detailed postgraduate certification program, whereas BIM Ready Complete is also international certification in BIM modeling. So the students who are going to graduate right after that, they can study or they can learn BIM Ready Complete. So this is going to be your application-based learning. You will learn the shop drawings, which I just showed you, spool and construction drawing as well. Then the software outline is given here. You will be learning 3ds Max, Enscape, Navisworks, AutoCAD, Dynamo, Autodesk, BIM 360, then Revit. So Scan to BIM is also included, like point cloud data you will be learning. So these are some of the software outlines in BIM Ready Complete course. Then if there is an architect who wants to just not see the structure part or doesn't want to learn the structure or MEP part, this is the BIM Ready Architecture course, wherein you will be learning BIM architecture. The structure person, if you want to learn just the structural aspect of it, then you will be going to have or going to learn in the BIM Ready structure course. This will be international certification in BIM MEP, which will have mechanical, electrical, and plumbing that you will be learning in BIM Ready MEP. Yeah, this is our app, wherein we are uploading our videos, we are assessing the students, we are also marking their attendance. So this is our app, mytipcam.com, wherein, like, this is professionally managed and professionally see, like, every trainer is going to upload the video, every trainer is going to see whether, how this is going. So this is our app wherein the live classes, everything is will be available if you will join the course. Yeah, these are our live project types, which are rightly explained by Ms. Movati. Yeah. What is the point of joining? Like, what is the main thing, or what is going to give you the just, like, you're going to think about joining TSTDP will be if you want to be job ready. So what it is, like, you're going to get the practical knowledge, you will be going to develop some skills, so skill development, and then hands-on experience you will get while working on the internship for 1.5 to 2 months. Then there will be proper counseling which is there when you will be joining Technostruct talent development program. And the main point of being job ready will be, like, here in Technostruct we'll be giving you lifetime placement assistance. So even now we are having a pool of students, and some of them, if they've lost their job in last 1 year, we are still assisting them, and they are getting their, they are getting through it, and some of them have got the jobs. So we are giving them the assistance, right assistance, to give them or to place them in the companies. These are the placements where they are, like, they're working with ECOM, they're working with Atkins, they're working with HBA. These are our alumni who working with HBA International, Magnasoft, Germany, Excelise, Tunisia. Sorry, this is the person from Tunisia. So they are working with different companies. Then the interview and screening process, I'll tell you in short. When the person is, like, through with the course and is done with the internship, then what happens, our Technostruct, we also absorb some qualified students. We interview them, we assess them, we see how they are good, so we absorb them. And we also, if we are not absorbing, we are recommending them to the top brands, as was listed earlier, to Pinnacle, Neosoft. So these are the top brands where we also recommend the students. So student is going to be benefited through the certifications that they're going to get, which is internationally valid. And this is the certificate, they're going to get the certificate of internship, and on which particular project the person has worked on, that will also be stated in that. So completion of, if you are having a curriculum requirement, you can of course join us, and you can go through the internship process, where you will learn all this, and you can show it in your 8th sem project as well. So you will be mentored for a broad education, as was told earlier. Like, we have our officials who are in America, and you will be definitely mentored for a broad education as well. So you will be working on the live international projects. There will be job referrals which you will get, to Technostruct affiliating companies. So these are some of the benefits which the students are going to get. So university will be benefited through the improvement, as their placement statistics will be improved. They will create relationship with us, Technostruct affiliates, and co-branding can be done. Along with it, the affiliation with US BIM-based BIM consulting firm will be there. So yes, we are going to promote BIM as a part of the curriculum as well. We can do that. So this is some of the benefits which goes to the university. Yeah, that's all from my side. Roy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
quite attentive.
My Navisworks has crashed. So if you have
Okay.
your model open.
Navisworks.
I was trying, I don't know. It is saying you can't just minimize this.
I don't have Navisworks on my.
Okay. Right. So, right. Okay. Any questions, anyone? Meanwhile, I'm trying to open my Navisworks model. I will show you some of the things. So, any questions? You can unmute yourself and you can ask.
Much.
Yeah. Janvi, Ketan, you want to say something or ask? Right, somebody has asked how to join the course. So I'm right now giving you a link, pasting a link on the chat box. So can you all please fill your details and remarks, like if you're interested, and just give your remarks also, like, for today's session. I'm pasting this link. Okay, somebody has asked any skill required before learning BIM. You should be knowing the basics about civil engineering, or even if you're a mechanical engineer, if you know the first 2 years of basics, the basics which are there, so you're ready to go and learn building information modeling. This technology you can learn.
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me? This is Pallab from SITM. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, ma'am. I just have a question. Actually, you have just mentioned that this internship course there. Can I have the duration? Like you said that weekly 1 or 2 hours the students can attend. So actually, basically, we are an engineering institute. So if students are interested, then for how many? What will be the tenure for the course? Actually, the internship part.
Okay, right. So the course will be when you will be learning all the like, when you will be learning the course, or when you will be going right from day one. So it will be 2.5 months. So in
Okay.
2.5 to 3 months, you will learn the course, but there will be 30 days or 45 days of internship apart from learning it. So when you will be working, before starting your internship, you will be learning every point or everything which is involved in learning the BIM technology. And after
Okay.
that, you will be going to your internship part. That is also a mandatory, like, you're not going to skip the internship. After learning for 2.5 to 3 months, you will go ahead and learn, or you will practice in the internship, in the live project.
Okay. So after
Let me
practicing internship.
Yes,
let
sir.
me just yeah let me just clarify what we are saying here. What Divyashri is saying is that the internship is part of our course, so it's not a separate thing
Okay.
altogether. Okay, so when
Okay.
you do your course, at the end of the day, we are all about, not we as in all us professionals, we understand that what we learn in a classroom, be it a virtual classroom or a physical classroom, the retention capability lasts for a week maximum.
Yeah.
The ideal thing is how you work on a project. Okay, because you learn, because project environment is variable, so a lot of things change every day in a project. Suddenly something happens, material short, it can be anything. Okay, so it can be COVID. Okay, so now, as part of our course, the most important aspect of our course are the project internships that we go through. And these are
Yeah.
not some small projects. We are talking about some of the large projects that you can see on the screen right now. So what happens is you attend a course. So you first attend a class, say about an hour, which is more of theory, but I can't really say theory because we're going to show on models and this and that. And then you will be given a homework which you need to, an assignment, let's see, which you need to complete and submit by the next day. So then from the next class onwards, it's going to be more than 1 hour. It's going to be around 1.5 to 2 hours. First session would be on what the assessment of what you have been given, in the previous class. Then it's going to be the next session. Okay. And after that, there's going to be, I think, periodic tests and Viva and all of that, which Divya knows more about. And once you have done that, all of that theory, practical, then you graduate on to doing a project. And maybe it's part of these are,
under the internship part. May I just interrupt you? The project
Sure.
comes under the internship. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. So we do not call it project learning, we call it internship because of the way we conduct it. Because that is, you see, as I said, this was part, the whole curriculum was part of a program where if someone joins my firm, how would I, the induction program, the training program that he or she needs to go through. Like we hire from a lot of engineering colleges in India. So what we've done that, taken that and given it as a, you know, as a way of for other people to learn as well, other students. So the internship is actually going to be with a project manager, okay, not just your trainer, and it's going to be rigorous, which means it's not like just because I've say paid a fee, I get a certificate. Does not work like that. Okay, we are not that institute. There are several other institutes in India. Uh, so you have to work really hard during the project because that's what is going to come when you actually sit for your interviews.
Training.
You
Okay,
know,
okay. Okay.
the whole, yeah, because say for example, one of your students come to me for an interview, I would not care about how many software he knows. For me, it is what he can. I'll give him a small piece of, a drawing or something, and or a calculation. Say, can you do this load calculation for me? Or once you have done this load calculation for me, can you draw this up, or can you model this up? Okay. If you cannot do that, you come from an IIT. It does not make any difference to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right?
Understand
So,
that. Understand.
all right. Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah. Carry on,
Okay, sir.
Divyashree.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Uh, Manish is asking, ma'am, classes will be physical or virtual? So right now, due to the COVID cases rising, so we are going ongoing. Like, there are plenty of batches which are right now ongoing, and these are all virtual. So every day, 1.5 hours of class, every day, like right from Monday to Friday, and you just cannot be attending the class, and you can just sit and that you know the software. It cannot happen. So you have to learn it. Like, you're learning the software and then you're practicing it. So every day, that 1 hour of class or 1.5 hour of class, you will be practicing at home. Then only you're going to be proficient and you'll be able to work in the internship very well. Yes. Can PG students join this course or this internship? Yes. So PG students, I have showed you the course wherein I have listed BIM Ready Plus and BIM Ready Regular. So if you're a postgraduate student, what you can do is, if you're having some experience as well, you can join our international certification program, which is BIM Ready Plus. And yeah, that will be great for you, since you will be also learning different aspects about BEP and other things, the management things. Ajay, I hope I have answered your question. Roy, if you want to add anything, Roy sir.
Um, yeah. So I have to say, I mean, postgraduate students, if you have experience of at least some amount of experience on going to a project site, it will help you. If not, what we do is, because BIM Ready Plus is not an open to all course, because we have a selection panel. We just do not. I mean, you cannot just pay a fee and get to join BIM Ready Plus. So you need to have either completed your post graduation or have some amount of work, at least 2 years of work experience. Okay. So all we can say is, if you are doing post graduation from this batch, the summer batch, we only have 2 batches of BIM Ready Plus in a year, because our faculty are from US. So if you are a postgraduate student, then what will happen is, rather than once you have completed the course, before certification, you will have to undergo 2 internships. So you'll have to work on 2 projects rather than 1 project, for people who have some work experience. Have I made myself clear?
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect.
Been asked by Dr. Ajay Goel, I think. Sir, he's Dr. Ajay Goyal from Chitkara University. And sir is asking.
Yeah.
So is this a paid internship? Somebody has asked.
Okay, I will again clear the air.
Yeah, yeah,
It is a course.
yes.
An internship is part of that course. Okay, and the course definitely is a paid course, but with Chitkara, definitely, I think you guys have, Divyashi, I think you guys have some MOU with or something with Chitkara. I don't know.
Yes, yes.
So the fees for Chitkara University is lower than what we normally charge. So you can talk to your professors, etc. They will be able to tell you.
Yes, yes. So Soumyadeep, if you're from YMCA University, the NorthCap University, we have our collaboration going on with them. So, the charges will be accordingly as per the collaboration done. So, internship is a part of the course. Right. So this is the NWD model, which is been collaborated through all the trades files which we got. And this model is NWD. So there are like three types of models in Navisworks. So this is the model which is used to publish. Like if you want to give this model to somebody, you want to give all the element information so that you can give through the NWD file. Right.
Yeah, this is a project called LPCH, Lucille Packard Children's Hospital, part of the Stanford Hospital Group, which is the largest general hospital in the US right now. So this is one of the projects where we have done three phases of this project over the years. And yeah, so as you can see, this is a wireframe model. And let's see, what happens is if I click on, say, an element, let's see, uh, it's a very heavy model and my computer, this tiny little laptop is not built for this. But let me see. If I can, yes, and let's see the properties. You have to bear with me, guys. Yeah. So if I look at the properties, it's a structural component. Structural component, and as you can see, it is metal, sheet metal. This is the name of the metal of that particular material. You got the Revit material that is associated, the element ID for each element, and the material, which is here. So all the important information associated with this particular element will be shown here. If you can see, laminated, this is a one thick laminated, what I think it is, yeah, laminated glass. Even let's see, yeah. So if you see, even a it's a messy table, okay. So every element that you see here will have, you can look at the properties associated with it. Okay, and let's try and go inside and okay, my computer will be stuck very soon. So Divishik, please carry on with the question and answer, and people can just, while I can play around with this model.
Yeah, yeah, right. Somebody has asked, Sanchari Mitra has asked, minimum qualification. Sanchari, minimum qualification is if you know the basics, like if you've learned the basics of engineering first and second year, you can even learn the technology BIM, like, in your third year as well. But somebody has asked, but if the timing of the class will overlap with our regular learning class. So what is there with us in our regular learning class? The classes here, the ongoing batches which we have are basically going in the morning and as well as in the evening. Like after 6:30, you're having your classes, and before 9 a.m., you're having your classes. So you can, of course, join the course since it is not going to overlap your class timings. Class timings would be between 9 to 5. That's what I suppose. So somebody is asking, can you tell us the course fee also, ma'am? So the course fee is varying, as I'm saying that we are already, we have our academic collaborators with us right now. JC Bose University of Science and Technology, the North Cap University, we're soon going to collaborate with Chitkara University. So they are, our MOU is signed with them. So the course fee is varying. So who is this PB19, if you can tell your name? I have given you a form, all of you. If you all can just fill this form. I hope you all have got the form. I'm repasting the form here. So somebody who's asked the course fee also. So the course fee is varying. Like if you want to learn BIM ready structure, you can go to our website technostructacademy.com. You will see all the course fee and the details about it. So course fee for like BIM ready structure, BIM ready MEP, and BIM ready architecture is 35,000 around that. And then for BIM ready complete, it is 50,000 plus GST. So these are some of the course fee structures that we have. Course fee also, ma'am, Aman from Chitkara. So yeah, if you're from Chitkara University, you can talk to Dr. Ajay Goel. We are in talks with him. So, the collaboration is going on. It's an ongoing process. So soon you will, get to know what is the course fee for Chitkara students. Ma'am, you tell the system requirements for the program. If you're having a RAM of 16 GB, that will be very good. Your programs are going to run smoothly. Even 8 GB will do, but yes, 4 GB will be like a bit of problem. Like if you have like Revit working, Revit is on, Navisworks is on, even you having Dynamo on, so that is going to hang a bit. So system requirements, if 16 GB, that is way too good for learning the program and smoothly just going through the program and switching to different files. Okay, minimum qualification, I told you that if you are a first or second year student, after learning first and second year of engineering, you can go ahead. So somebody asked the classes virtually, I've answered that. Anything else, you can unmute yourself and you can ask the question if you have any doubt. Roy sir, my Navisworks is also open. Can I show?
Yeah, please. Mine is just not working.
Okay, right. Yeah, my screen is visible to all of you.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, now it is.
Okay, right. So this is one ongoing project which is there. So you can see here, like, on the left side, you can see the selection tree, which is basically comprising of all different files, which I have just showed you. Remember here, I showed you all the files which are linked to structural file, which is a GFRC, drywall. So all these individual files are basically linked here. So if you want to see the structural part, that will be highlighted. If you want to see the electrical part, the electrical part will be highlighted, right? I wanted to show you here, like, the clash which is happening. So let me just open that. So what happens when you, for example, you want to see the clashes which are happening in your structural detailing part and the mechanical detailing part? Can you see here the clashes? That means 1695 clashes are occurring. So if you go just like that, if you are not using the BIM technology, And if you are going to the site, just created individual drawings, and you go on the site and you'll start building your project, imagine the amount of, time, the amount of work which you're going to, face. And that is why there is, like, if you've seen a project that has been listed, like, you will finish the project in 5 years, whereas it goes on to like 8 years, 7 years. Why? This is the problem. So 1695 clashes, that is the number of clashes. See here the results which are there. So I will show you at least one result, how the clash is. So yeah, can you see this particular pipe which has been crossing, which is crossing this slab? Can you see this? So this is a clash which is happening. So what is to be done before this is going to be, you're going to start constructing the project? What will happen? You have to resolve this. Either you are going to move this to this side, or you move this to the other side, left side. So you select this, and you can, uh, as per the requirement, like, there should not be any other column or any other place wherein, you this is not going to clash. So that is what you're going to resolve this accordingly. So yeah, that's all from my side. So I can show one more thing, which is, okay, like, virtually, if you orbit. Yeah. So here, for example, if you want to just, you want to see every place on your own, so there is a thing which is here as walk. So what you can do is, you can click here, you can have a third person. So you can walk here, like, you want to walk, you can go ahead, you can come back, and you can just walk on the structure everywhere you can go. So here there are some options which you will be learning when you will be going through it. Like, if you're going to click on the collision and gravity here, so the person who is walking, and if you want to see every single part of the project, so what is to be done, if you will have the collision or gravity, so you will not cross this particular wall if you're going ahead. Sorry. Yeah. So if we are going ahead, you will not be able to cross. Sorry.
I guess, Divya,
Yeah. Right.
we are sort of running out of time now,
Right. Right. I hope
and
we are behind us.
yeah.
Right.
So, if anyone has any questions, you're free to ask, or if you know, if you want to call us for further questions, please feel free to do that as well. And we are always happy to help. And yeah, so I guess it's like I always tell people that the future, BIM is not in the future, it's in the present. Okay, so we can't really hide away from reality that the robots might not take over soon, but technology definitely has taken over. So we might as well, be part of that. And if we want to have a good future ahead of us. So with that, I would really like to thank all the students who have listened to us attentively. I hope we have been able to shed some light on this important topic and your career prospects. I would also really like to thank all the professors who have also attended this webinar. Uh, with, with respect to you, sir and madam, we really appreciate your presence here. And thank you so much. And I hope we can meet again in the near future. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, Divya. Thank you so much, Mobiti. Have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, at last, can we all just open our, start our video to just for a group photograph, as it is requested by this, from the YMCA University.
Oh, okay. Right. Satyam it is. Okay, Satyam.
Yeah,
Roy
yeah,
sir?
sure.
Okay. Right. Sure. We can do that. Satyam, will you be able to click the photograph?
Yes, ma'am, I am able to click the photograph.
Okay, so we are going to switch on our videos, all of us, so that we can have a group photograph. If that is going from one page to other page, Satyam, if you will be able to click all of it.
Yeah, I will take in different individual screenshots.
Okay. So, Roy sir, can we switch off the?
We have switched it off, I think.
No, screen sharing. Sir.
Yeah, I think we have. We are not showing screen, right?
We are.
We are. I don't know
Yes.
how to switch off screen sharing, so.
Okay. Let me. I just. Okay. Let's do that once.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, now it is. Satyam, are you able to click the photograph?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, till now, not much participants has started their camera.
I request all of you to switch on the camera so that we can take a group photograph. Satyam, you can go to the view and gallery view. I'm also taking. Yeah, I think now many have switched on. So, I'm also taking.
Yes, ma'am. Pictures has been taken. Thank you.
Okay, right.
All right.
Right.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice weekend ahead. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am.